Hey everybody, welcome back to KL's Kitchen. In honor of celebrating the launch of the last book of the series, I'm going to make something else for you guys, a crescent roll wreath. It's quick, it's easy, it looks really cool, and you can put almost anything you want in it. This is my Antipasto variety. So let's just get right to it. You start with a baking sheet and you put parchment paper on it, and then because getting it off nicely is a big deal, I like to just spray it lightly with a cooking spray. An ounce of prevention's worth a pound cure. Now the hardest part about the wreath is getting everything spaced out right. So I just like to take a little round dish, put it there, and then we're just gonna do a pretty simple pattern. This is sort of my little hack. So I do a piece opposite each other here, kind of at 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock, right? That's where I start. And then we're gonna go around with sort of 3 on each side, overlapping to get around. All the goodies are gonna go on this part here in the middle. This does not need to be perfect. As my best friend always says, don't let the perfect get in the way of the good. So, and this is gonna be so good, I promise you. It's gonna look great. It's not hard to put together. Lots of fun. Okay, so that is round 1 of the star. Now this dish I'm making is actually gonna be good for an appetizer for a lot of people. I'm actually gonna eat it for dinner tonight. So I actually use 2 sets of crescent rolls, which gives you, as you can see, as I'm putting the second layer on, you can see we're getting a much bigger surface area to stuff our goodies, and that's what we want, right? Because as delicious as crescent rolls are, we want more than just bread. We want all the goodies as well. So we just lay these out. Over the holidays, a fun version of this to do is one with brie and whole berry cranberry sauce. Super simple, everybody loves it. But this, as I said, is going to be my Antipasto variety of my crescent roll wreath. All right, so now we've got this laid out. It's looking like a sun. We're just going to squish it a smidge. Pull this sucker out, and we're ready to start stuffing. So I like to start with some cheese, in this case, some grated mozzarella. We're not going to measure anything. We're just putting it down. I mean, technically it's probably about a cup, but I mean, honestly, has anybody ever complained about too much cheese? Just put that in there. Make sure you've got kind of some everywhere. Perfect. And normally I'd use fresh basil, but the basil in the store just didn't look great, so we'll just use some dried basil. Now, I like a little bit of kick, but not everybody in my family does. So these have got some pepperoncinis here. So I don't put a whole lot. I spread them out. If you're serving people who really do like kick, you can put a lot more. Just adjust it to your own taste. But even just a little bit will give it enough punch to make you enjoy it. Next, we're going with some pepperoni. Layering it on, we can overlap as much as we want. Starting to look like I know what I'm doing, which is always a bonus. We're just gonna kind of keep layering our foods here. Next, I've got ham. I just sliced it in half. We're just gonna go around, overlap a little bit. Around the circle here, and one more for good luck because it never hurt anybody. Next, we've got some prosciutto, which is a little bit trickier to work with sometimes. You might want to fold it in half. Layer it around. Looks a little bit more like a square, but as long as there'll be some on every bite, that's what matters. O'Malley is enjoying this because I'm not using the air fryer. I don't know if you remember, but last time when we were making the zucchini strips, he was not around because he cannot stand the sound of the beeps on the air fryer. All right, the last thing I'm putting on here is some provolone cheese. It's whatever cheese you like, but I think this adds a nice texture and taste for this antipasto dish. And again, doesn't have to be perfect. We just need it to be good. So as you can see, this actually assembles pretty quickly. All right, there we go. Goes out of the way. Now comes the super technical part. We take the ends and we just tuck them under the bottom. One at a time. Nothing bad's gonna happen. It's all gonna stick together once it's finally cooked. Some parts of the circle will have space between them, some won't. Doesn't matter. It's all gonna taste delicious. That's just wrapping this sucker up. Keep all this yummy goodness inside. Oh, by the way, I preheated my oven to 375. This takes about half an hour to cook once it's in the oven, and then you really do want it to sit for 10 minutes before you serve it. That's pretty important for it to stay together for the serving, because you've got to all this effort to make it look pretty. You want to be able to transfer it to a plate easily as well. Just a couple more here, almost done. All tucked under. Beautiful. I've prepared a little simple egg wash here, just one egg, a little bit of water. We are going to paint the top. Again, you're not sweating the small stuff, we're just getting it covered. And then we're going to put on the top some kosher salt. And I like it not just for the flavor, but for the size. And some coarsely ground black pepper. Again, that way we're getting both flavor and size. Flavor, yeah, and size for the look. You don't need a ton of salt because there's plenty of salt in those cured meats, but a little bit isn't a bad thing. Just a little bit of pepper. There we go. Pretty simple prep. I'm going to put this in the oven, then I'm going to make a quick cocktail to celebrate as well. Okay, so my cocktail, you're gonna love this. A little champagne cocktail. I'm using the champagne glass from my brother's and my sister-in-law's wedding. So they're kind of with me in spirit today too. All right, simple champagne cocktail. We're starting with the chef's trick, pro tip. We're putting in frozen raspberries in the bottom. So raspberries are nice with champagne because they have a lot of surface area, which helps with the bubbles, so it makes a nice visual presentation. If you have them frozen, it actually helps keep your drink colder. Acts almost like an ice cube without diluting it at all. I'm trying to open this here. This is Chambord. My hands are a little bit greasy here. I swear to you, I opened this before. Here we go. Okay, so Chambord, I'm assuming it's pronounced that way. I default to French pronunciation of any words that aren't English because I'm Canadian. It's a raspberry liqueur. So theoretically, it's about 4-to-1 ratio. Put in there, but it's a nice color as well. And we've got a little thing of Prosecco here for myself. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Lori, what are the odds that my cocktail is going to be around long enough that it would warm up? Probably not, but still, it's a good pro tip. All right, I'm going to add in the Prosecco here. Woo! Not do that. It was pretty yummy, though. I guess I should have rehearsed that part, huh? I never rehearse these, by the way. I just do them. All right, so this is a raspberry curd. Here's a toast to all of us. Thank you for being with me on this journey. I hope you love the last book in the series. We'll be back as soon as we're ready to take the crescent roll wreath out of the oven. Cheers. All right, we've taken this out of the oven. I actually took it out a couple minutes early because it cooked a little bit faster than I was used to. When it first comes out, I took my pie cutter and went all the way around all the edges underneath, just to make sure nothing was really sticking while it was warm. All right, now moment of truth. Let's see if we can get it to our plate. We can sort of scoot it to the edge here. Look at that. As though I knew what I was doing. I love it. All right, I've got a little bowl here, olive oil and balsamic vinegar. Don't skimp on the balsamic vinegar. Having good quality balsamic vinegar does make a difference. All right, let's cut into this and see how we did. Oh my gosh, look at that. All those layers of goodness. Let's have a taste. There we go. So good. All right, folks. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining me. I hope you make your own version of a crescent roll wreath this holiday season. Cheers. I hope you enjoy the Shellington series. Have a great night, everybody. Bye-bye.